This sounds very cruel to you guys, and to me as well, but in this world, nobody genuinely cares about you. I realized this very recently. Let me introduce two phrases from my favorite songs written by Billy Joel, who is a American singer. The first one is from She's Always a Woman to Me, and it says, "Oh, and she never gives out, and she never gives in, she just changes her mind." And the other one is from Honesty, "I can always find someone to say they sympathize." These two depict how you feel when you lose somebody close to you. These are the very clear description to me. So the first one is, you might imagine that you're abandoned by the girlfriend you were dating with. You might recall some memories with joyful moments. Everything became dark. You might feel desperate. You might feel extremely sad, lonely, which I felt in the past. And as for the second one, I personally felt that this shows how lonely you feel when even though you have friends, even though you have besties, even though you're close to your family, and you can always find someone, and they can sympathize you, and they might say something warm to you. It's like, "Oh, you're alright, don't worry about, everything's alright." But in the bottom of your heart, you might feel something different, like something anxious, something void. Like even though they sympathize you, would not be fulfilled with these words. You need to genuinely satisfy yourself. That's a message I got from these phrases. So let's go back to the topic. Nobody genuinely cares about you. I think this is true. As two phrases says, even though you commit to somebody, even though you try to be nice to them, it ends. Sometimes it ends suddenly, which you can't control. Let me introduce my recent experiences. I had a moment that I felt suffered very much from my heartbreak. I was dating with a girl at uni. We met in a class and start, talking. I took her out for a date, typical initiation for a date, and things went well at first, but in the end, everything's completely different. She changed, as if she didn't like me at the first place. She said like that. I thought I might have been a person who establishes a relationship gradually. Maybe we are not sharing in that with the same pace of when it comes to making relations, which I felt I should have checked. We should have talked about this, but things have done. Another thing could be that I was expecting her to take care of me in return of me doing to her. She also told me that I'm also the person who is into the partner when I come to like the person. In the short run, that kind of words makes you warm, makes you stable, makes you relaxed, makes you secured. But as things go and as the situations changes as well, it was in this summer we were very busy with our things at uni, like assignments, like exams, like part-time job. We were busy, and so we gradually became unable to communicate with. It was difficult for us to meet in person at that time, and since it continues, I gradually felt isolated from her. I tried to text her, but she barely replies me. So those subtle things accumulate, and I started to feel, oh, this doesn't work out well, and what should we do? I keep thinking of that like every single day at that time, and I was believing that she would come back. She actually told me that she wanted me to wait for a while because she was also feeling bad, feeling guilty, feeling rushed because she was also busy. And I agree with that. I don't want to make it really quick. As long as it's my personal thing, I will deal with it by myself so I can do things quickly. But when it comes to doing something together, you have to wait. And nobody genuinely cares about you is that even though the person utters the word in the past, it doesn't matter in the present moment. You might, believe that I was believing that she would come back, but she didn't in fact. And this clearly demonstrates that even though the person promises as a one case, even though you promise somebody, even though somebody says to you that he or she comes back later, sometimes it doesn't work. And I realize this is life. Let me give you another examples. Back in my school, I was a good kid for everybody, like for teachers, for my friends, for parents, because I rarely protested. I rarely give my opinion to others. I rarely reject others. I did, my homework. I hang out with my friends, as everybody did at that time. I was kind of submissive because if I say something wrong, they might disappoint me. Like my whole thoughts was kind of that. I was afraid of being hated by somebody. But even though you behave like that, nobody can help. Nobody helped me. It doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter at this point. Back in my school, nobody could help me. And for now, nobody can help me. Sometimes I make plans with my mates to hang out or like to go for a trip. And you might talk to your friends in person or like on text messages. I was often the most enthusiastic person among my friends. I wanted to make plans as soon as we decided to go. I didn't care the pace with others, which is kind of my fault. But anyways, even though you wanna do something in a group, unless you don't have the strong will or the strong motivation, it doesn't work. However close you guys are, based on my experience. So these things sounds negative, but it's not actually. I take them as positive because I learned things needed for my future, needed for my life. In fact, I realized that nobody actually helped me. Nobody genuinely cares about me. That's how human relationship works, and that's okay. You don't necessarily take care about others unless you want. And I was in the past kind of person who I thought everybody should do, which was kind of arrogant of me. So nobody genuinely cares about you. Now that my conclusion is, you should make an action by yourself. If you wanna invite your friends for traveling, you invite your friends. Whether or not it works for you, you just try it. You can try it, and then the result comes after. And if it didn't work well, you can also learn from it. You can also learn things you have to learn for your life. So don't worry about it. I don't worry about it. I mean, sometimes I do, but I became not worrying about it. So yeah, this is a message for you guys and for me too.